It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top players in the entire country right now. Is a sophomore leading VCU to a 10-3 record. Bizzy Bones, how you doing, man?
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Pretty good, man. Well, as I just said, you've been killing it this year. 10-3 start for you guys. And we know you got the nickname though, Bizzy Bones. Take us through this. How did
Yeah.
that nickname first start?
I'll say when I was a younger teenager, probably around like 11 or 12, my one of my childhood friends came up with the name Busy because I was just getting busy at a young age on the court. And then one of my best friends, she's a girl, honestly. I used to be with her like every day. She was nice at ball. Her name was Chicken, and she gave me the name Bones because I was skinny. So I'm like, I put two and two together. I'm like, Busy Bones. That's gonna be my name, and it just went from there ever since. And then that name just became glowing.
Well, let's kind of go back a little bit. We'll get into the season in a little bit, but as a high school player, you're in Delaware, a place that really people don't look at as a heavy basketball recruited place. You rise up there. You're a four-star recruit, a well-known player, but let's head over to freshman year. Take us through this journey and kind of how you rose to becoming a high-level player.
First coming out of Wilmington, Delaware, we're a small city, don't get that much recognition, and I wanted to be the first one to honestly like put Delaware on the map. Basically, but it has been some other players who have, but I want to be the one who make the biggest impact on putting Delaware on the map, and also just basically coming in my freshman year and make a big impact. Like I'm gonna be that dude, or just I'm gonna be that dude who can do. Like, even though I'm skinny and people label me as Bones, and that's my name. I'm gonna ride with it forever. But I can hoop too. I can play with y'all, even though y'all bigger than me right now. But I'm better than y'all and I'm skinny basically. So I just wanted to be out there and basically say I fit in, honestly. So just me coming in as a freshman, just knowing I was probably like 155, 157, but just coming in with the heart of a lion, just knowing that like I can play with y'all too. So that was the biggest thing on my mind, just honestly, because I always play with a lot of heart. And as I said, like if you got heart, then you can play with anybody, honestly.
That's a huge point, 'cause I know a lot of recruits out there. The mentality is if I go to a Texas, a California, Arizona, or Florida, one of these bigger states, you can get tension. It's a lot easier, of course, but you didn't choose that route. You decided to stay home 4 years.
Yeah.
How are you able to manage to become that big of a player, not having all that pressure, not really taking the easy route, transferring somewhere else?
I would say, but basically, like my senior year in high school, I was I wasn't recruited that high at first, but then I started getting recruited high by like schools like Kansas and Michigan and etc. But VCU stuck around for me for like a couple years, and I'm big on the loyalty part and the part where like they're gonna be there for my family, honestly. So and gonna have my best interest. And that's the big part for my mom as well. So I always thought like VCU gonna have the best interest for me, so that's why I recruited there, and just wanted to come in and have a big impact on that type school. And I also knew like I didn't know like me coming in, I was one of the highest recruits to come in and commit. So just me being that, honestly, that just put a bigger like chip on my shoulder just to keep pushing forward, moving forward, and also having like trying to have a big impact on the school when I first get there.
This is jumping a little bit ahead, but as you said, you came in now, you're one of the highest recruits ever. You're clearly killing it so far, but you're kind of the reason that's kind of turned this whole program around. You and Coach Rhodes have been perfect together. You guys are now landing
Yeah.
underranked players. Dan Deloche, I'm really high on. Nick Kern, other guys are coming in. What's like knowing that you kind of started this new movement of getting other top level guys to come out there?
Just them seeing like the level of guards that VCU can produce, and just the level of versatile players that the VCU can produce. As you know, VCU always got like players who can play multiple positions and impact in multiple positions. You know, it's not always just like, oh, we want to get this one just big guy, because you know, like we a very versatile school. So I feel as though we recruit like a to move as fast as we move and the pace that we move at. So I feel as though like just having that culture and that level of basically being able to play different positions that makes the big impact on the school, and that shows how VCU recruits their players.
Without a doubt. Let's go into your junior year, and we know there's a crazy story that's gone down with you. Kind of to take us through this. I know it's been some years now, kind of digest it, but we know the house incident, the house fire. Take us through what
Yep.
that was like. Just kind of take us through that story.
Uh, I would say probably around. I think it was probably around. I would say I'm gonna say probably three. It's
Mhm.
probably earlier than that because that around that time March Madness was going on. So I was on my laptop. I was in my room. So boom, right after that, I probably was almost falling asleep, honestly, but I just kept like hearing something in my ear, or just like I was on the phone with my friend though, but like it was just like something was just telling me like just don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. I was falling asleep because it was one of them days, you know, you get a little tired, long day, you know. So I was on my laptop. I'm on the phone with my best friend. His name Hassan Perkins. So I'm on the phone with him. Boom. I start to see black stuff coming through. Like I start to smell it first. I start to smell charcoal or something. I start to smell it. So I'm like, oh, I live in the hood, honestly. So in the hood, you like it's a lot of people always have barbecues and stuff like just randomly. So I'm like, oh, they must be barbecuing outside or something in their backyard or something. So I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm still laying in my bed. So after that, I start to like see the black stuff coming in my room. I'm like, that's not normal. Like, I don't think it ever comes in my room. So I start to see it come through the little windows, the little smells. So I get up and I'm like, what's going on? So first I immediately like just hopped up. I closed the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I still had the phone in my hand. So when I goes to open the door with the phone, I see lots of flames of fire. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So when I see the flames of fire, I immediately closed the door. I pushed it back because I'm like, no, this can't be true. This can't be true. Meanwhile, my mom and my baby brother and my other baby brothers in the room. They my baby cousins, but they've been living with me my whole life. So I call them my baby brother. So after that, I closed the door. So after I closed the door, I'm like, oh snap, Tracy, my house on fire, my house on fire. I immediately dropped the phone because I got to start thinking because I don't know what to do now. So
Mm-hmm.
after I closed the door, I closed it real fast. So I had time to think because if you just open the door, the flame's going to come in. And if you close it, it got to have time to burn the door down. So I got more time to think.
Mm-hmm.
So I close the door and I go to the window. My house was kind of old, so the windows never open. So I'm like, nah, I know these windows ain't gonna open. So I think I'm done. So I drop to my knees. I start praying. I'm like, there's no way I think this is over. After all I've been through, after all I've done, me, I'm like, it ain't no way. Like I have more life to live. So boom, I go to the window. I try to open it. It didn't open. So I go back to my knee. I start crying. I'm like, Dad, it's over. Like basically, I'm done. So boom, I go to the window. I touch the window. It was hot. I start feeling flames on the window. I backed up. Mind you, it's all this like flames and like darkness in my room now. So, because the fire's starting to be able to catch on, like everything's starting to catch on fire. So, I'm at the window. It's trying to open. It's not opening. So, I go to the second window. I had 3 windows. The first window starting to catch on fire. So, I moved away from that window. So, I'm panicking. I'm trying to open it. It doesn't open. So, I go to the second one. This was the middle window. I try to open it. It doesn't open. So, I go to the third window. This is the window I always look out of. So, I go to that window. I open it. It doesn't open. So, I went back to my knees. I got back up, got to me, get right back up. And I went to the window. I opened it. And I'm like, as I open it, there's people outside. They're like, Bones, we need you. We need you. You got to jump. You got to jump. I'm like, there's no way. It's too high. It's too high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, I jumped off the 3-story floor. So I'm like, it's too high, too high. So they're like, no, you got to, we need you. We need you. So that just been playing in my head. So I put my head out the window and I feel as though if I'd have stayed in there one more second, I'd be dead right now. So I just jumped head first and my legs, my knee, the dude who was out there, he caught me from waist up. So everything from waist down, it felt like it was paralyzed. I couldn't even get up and walk. I crawled because my thing hit the brick walls and it hit like my face almost hit the bricks. That was the brick stairs, but waist down, everything hit the brick. And I felt like I was paralyzed. I had to crawl to the car and everything when they had got me from jumping. But that just like it was just so touching, and it was kind of hard because in movies it's like they have so much time to think when it's a fire. It's so much time the way they make it seem like you have that much time, but it's like no, you really like it's like 10 seconds basically because flames catch on fire so fast. So it's like, and the way they like attach to stuff is like it instantly like it ignites a fire. So everything just caught on fire, and I just had to jump out, and it was just like. Ever since then, I just had a different like viewing on life, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And that is something that, I mean, it's shocking. I can imagine the amount of things going through your mind, but once you were down, you know that you were okay. Obviously, I know you had a lot of injuries, but what's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that started going through your mind?
My grandma and my baby brother, I'm like, they still in there. I have family in there. They thought it was just me. They didn't know my mama was in there because this was the day where nobody like my mom went to like this place called main event with my cousins, and she's like 20 minutes away. So everybody else just left, and my aunt she had went to get the baby something to eat. and my grandma's on the east. She went to McDonald's, so she came back and she's like, "What's going on?" Basically, so I didn't even. I came out. I didn't know my mom number. I'm trying to just think. Everything was just like it was going through my brain. Like I had no thoughts at all. So I'm like, all I know is my grandma and my baby brothers was in the house. So I'm like, call an ambulance ASAP. Like I have people in the house. My house is on fire. Ever since I really didn't have no thoughts.
And I know that obviously was a tough thing, and you're trying to still live life. You still have to do all the stuff going on in life. How did you get through it? How did you is that something you relied on? Was it faith? What kind of got you through everything?
I mean, it hit me daily, honestly. Just being able to be here, honestly, and I had the support. I had a lot of support come with this fire thing, but just knowing like I have numerous of kids out there or I'm impacting their life daily. So just knowing that, like that on the back of my mind, it's like I have people that's looking up to me. So I got to keep going, honestly. Like no matter what I go through, like I know it's like I know it's like a brighter light that I can reach where I won't feel as much pain that much. So like, and it hits me every day. Honestly, I wouldn't lie. Like every day I kiss my arm. I got portraits of my grandma and my baby brother on my left arm. Every game, every day I kiss my arm. Just being thankful and just knowing that they still here with me and they're my guardian angel. So just knowing like, even though they're not here right now, I still have, I know they're proud of me and what I'm doing, what I overcame, because that's not normal for a young teenager to go through that and still overcome what he came and still be able to play basketball to this day with everything that's going on, because I had every right to give up basketball. So it's like just me noticing how strong I am. And no matter what I go through, I know I overcame the biggest thing in life, honestly. Just so it's like just knowing that I'm able to keep going and I'm playing with like a chip on my shoulder and just knowing that they here with me, it's like, dang, like you winning regardless, honestly. So it's like I that's how I approach life, honestly.
And you mentioned being that role model. I mean, we know your basketball career is great. We're going to keep going talking in a little bit. You have pro potential, everything like that. But you can take that all away. And we just look at this, the kind of the miracle that happened there. You can be a role model to a lot of kids out there that have gone through different things. How have you kind of embraced that, knowing that you kind of can be that guy that kids look up to all over the country and all over the world?
I feel as though you gotta embrace it real well, because sometimes like I feel as though people get overwhelmed with it, with being a great role model, because it's a lot of kids who texting you, they trying to get in touch with you. But I mean, once you was a kid, honestly, you wanted that role model to respond to you. So I feel as though you got to take it as you got to be in their shoes once. They need help just like you needed help. Just because you got the fame or you got the people that's looking up to you, you don't just brush them to the side, because honestly, that's not what I mean, God wants you to do. Honestly, He wants you to help them out, just like you wanted help when you was younger. He gave you that help and that guidance. So I feel as though like I'm the one who always just trying to reach out and help younger people, and just knowing that's gonna come to me back in tenfold, because I'm taking the time out of my day, even though I got a busy day now, and they understand that, but they just want help and guidance, honestly, and how they can get better and what they need to do, what they need to work on. So it's like you helping them will make their day brighter, but it come back to yours in tenfold. So I feel as though like just me embracing that role model standard, I feel as though like that's a big part of my life as well. Just me being there for younger children. I also like, even though like everything that happened and went on, like as far as like COVID, I couldn't host my I always host a Tracy Day. So it's like giving back to the younger youth and hosting 2 games, honestly. But I couldn't do that due to COVID. But past 2 years I've been doing that, just giving back to them, everything free. You get free shirts, everything, free trophies, stuff like that. Just giving back and just knowing like, oh, I can do things bigger than basketball. It's bigger than basketball. It's you putting like a smile on people's faces and just praying to come back to you in temple. That's all.
Absolutely. I know a lot of guys discuss that when some tragedy happens to them, they sometimes use faith, but also a big part for them is the basketball court. That's a huge thing that guys can go kind of take the stress out on, take anger out, or whatever. You also dealt with injuries though, but when you got healed up, was that something that you found that, or even today still, is that kind of your kind of safe zone? You feel safe at?
Yeah, for sure. I feel as though like that's my that like the basketball part, it's like everything just goes away. So when I'm on a court, it's like I just play so freely. Like it's like that's my passion, all my emotions go to the court. All my like, it's just everything. Just you just see it in my game. I just throw it all in my game. You could just see it on my face and my expression. Just like he been through some stuff, and he playing like it's just like that kid's a dog. Like you could just see the pain in my game, honestly, and it's just like it ain't no way but to go to the top, honestly, with it.
That is something I love about you, because you have that dog mentality and you learn how to balance that perfectly, where you're on the court, you're going at people, you're going to defend them, lock them up, trash talk, whatever it might look like. Once you step off the court, though, you're friendly, you're cool with everyone, you're the nice guy. How have you balanced
Yeah.
the two personalities?
Uh, I would say I always had that demeanor to be the top dog on the court. Honestly, just wanting people to know like I'm the best on the floor. Honestly, by far. But so when I step on the court, my mindset is I'm the best. I'm going to kill you on the court in every act. So it's like me just approaching basketball that way. Honestly, it just brought me so far, and I'm never gonna stop doing it. But when I step off the court, I want people to know like I got the best personality. I got the best like. I just want to be the one that just touch people's souls, honestly, and be the one who can be there for somebody when their day is rough. I want to be the one like who walks in the room and I light up the room. And honestly, I do that on the daily, honestly. But just me having high character and high like just me being able to just touch people's lives, honestly, it's just a blessing. Just seeing people like days when it's so rough sometimes you can tell they just thinking about stuff, and I just come around in the room and I just light them up, honestly, and that basically puts like a lot of joy in my life, honestly. I ain't gonna lie, because I do that on the daily now, and I've been doing that, honestly. I hear a lot of people saying I got the best personality, I can light up a room, things like that, and they just said don't never lose that. That's a God-given like gift right there. Like you able to light up a room. Not a lot of people are able to do that.
Couldn't agree more. And when you come back from those injuries, you come in that senior year, though, you win player of the year. You really go off. You take your game to a whole nother level, and you really become this basketball player you are today. What went into that transition? What led you to have that kind of breakout senior year?
Uh, just bouncing back from my injury, honestly. I wanted the world to know that I'm one of the best players in the country. So I mean, it was known from a lot of people my junior year because I've been doing the stuff like been dropping 50-point games and 40-point games on a daily basis. So it's like my senior year, I really wanted people to know like I'm really that, and I'm really one of the best guards in the country because I still didn't get my respect because I was, as I said in the beginning, I was coming from a small city, Wilmington, Delaware. So it's like we're not recognized as a basketball state or anything, honestly. So we so small, the bigger states just like they just run over us basically. But like you can't never stop something that's shine. You can ever the shine going outweigh the dark. So it's just like every time, every time on the court my senior year, I really just like, oh, I'm really like that. Like nobody can stop me, honestly. And that's how I approached it, honestly. So it's just like I'm gonna play with this chip on my shoulder. People gonna know my story, and that's the biggest thing that I want to get out. People hearing my story.
Now, I want to go into your game now because you're a guy that can score at will. We know that. But the reason I think a lot of people, including myself now, is really high on you in terms of NBA potential is that not only can you score, but you have that length size of an NBA player, 6 foot, almost 9-inch wingspan. Was that something you've always had? Have you always had longer arms, or is that something that you kind of got at one time span?
Just I would say it's a genetic thing. My pop is really long. He's tall. I'm taller than my papa now, but like my mom is tall for a female too. So just they have very long arms as well. So just genetic thing, honestly. Just knowing like I have a long wingspan. I can in both guard positions. So and I can stick multiple positions. So it's like just having that wingspan. It allows me to be very flexible.
We look at the NBA level. That's your ultimate goal. Where do you see yourself translating? Do you think you'll be more of a point guard, kind of stick with that combo guard role, or even a shooting guard? Where do you see yourself translating at the next level?
I would say whatever the team honestly need me to do, but I like prefer on ball, honestly, because I'm very impactful and being able to do everything when the ball is in my hand, honestly. So it's just like I don't have no problem with playing a shooting guard and being a combo guard because I can get off, and when I get off, it get real hot. But like when I got that ball in my hand, I can pass really good and I can facilitate for my teammates and score as well. So it's basically everything. So it's like it really doesn't matter, honestly. It's just whatever the NBA team needs and what roster the NBA teams has. So it's just going from there, honestly.
A lot of people always like making comparisons to players, but I kind of want to hear your person. Who are the guys that you think you play a lot like in the NBA?
I'm starting to hear like more so people always compare me to like Ja, well, with his wiggle and the size that he has. We both have the similar wiggle. I would say majority of people say I play like Jamal Crawford though, with definitely with his wiggle and his frame. So that's the major two I've been hearing a lot. So those two, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, we discussed why you chose VCU, and you get there as a freshman. You weren't starting in the beginning of the year, but then you start ending your last 6 games of the year starting. You guys finish off over 500, 18-13. You're averaging right around 9 points a game. Take us through that freshman year.
Uh, would say in the beginning of freshman year, I wanted the seniors to know and the whole organization that I can play with them, even though I was smaller than them and skinnier. But I wanted them to know, like, I can compete with y'all as well. And I've been playing up my whole life. So I know this is just like just basically a playground mode, honestly. But it's more structured, honestly. But I would say just me going into my freshman year, just knowing, like, I have to work hard. I have to. And just knowing, like, I have to have a chip on my shoulder as well, because I know, like, these seniors not going to back down on the freshmen. And I just know, like, I got to make my way for my own self and let them know, like, I can play with them and they can trust me as well as a freshman, as a young age freshman. So it's like me just stepping in with a big role, honestly.
And you go throughout that year and you continue to get better and better, as I said. But when did you finally click for you? When did you kind of first start realizing that you're kind of settling in now? You think you can be one of the best players every time you step on that court?
I would say the Dayton game when we played them at their gym. I would say it was more so like I knew, like, I belonged there. Like, I knew I belonged with the best talent, because they had Obi and I was frying them. So it's like I knew I just felt unstoppable, honestly. And then from there, I just took off. Like, it was like a big takeoff. So it was just like, yeah, that kid is really good, honestly. I caught a lot of people faces that game. So it was just like, I just wanted the world to know me and know my name, honestly. And just play with the chip on my shoulder that I play with.
The Dame fans are crazy. VCU fans are great. We know there's no fans this year, though. How have you adjusted to that? Do you like it better, worse? Take us through kind of adjusting to no fans.
I would say sometimes you need the fans sometimes, but sometimes you don't. But sometimes you need them. Like, you so used to the fans, just hearing from they giving you the joy sometimes and just the excitement. But, like, even when you go to the other team's place, you just hearing the fans not making no noise when you make a shot. That just give you some more some more motivation, more excitement. So it was just like, it was something I had to get used to. But I would say it's just like an open gym, honestly. Just not having, like, fans there, and just basically going there and just having an open gym, honestly. So it's something like I've been used to my whole life, but just something like you just gotta keep doing till this COVID thing is over, honestly. But who knows when this thing will be over? But just honestly, just approaching it as you gotta play hard, honestly. You gotta play how you play, even though there's no fans, but just knowing, like, you just gotta go out there and rock out.
Prior to the year, I was talking to a lot of coaches, and they all said whoever the star players are, they know that they will be stars no matter what scenario it is. But there are some of those guys on the bench or other guys on the team that might need fans, might be better without fans. How have you kind of
Yeah.
got those guys to be able to play at a good level, or even kind of if they play much better without fans, kind of embrace that role for them?
I would say majority of my teammates, I think they're used to playing a lot of pickup ball as well. So I would say, like, it's not a big deal for them because they used to playing a lot of ball where there's no fans. So I feel as though I'm glad that happens, because some people need fans to play, and that lights them up, honestly. So a lot of people got exposed a lot because they can't play without fans. So I'm blessed to have a good team who's able to play without any fans, or just a couple fans, because we allowed to have a couple fans, but sometimes when we travel, we don't have any. But I just try to give them the energy and just try to let them feed off of my energy when I'm first like when I'm out there just playing with a lot of joy and excitement. I want them to feed off of me, and I want them to, like, all right, even though there's no fans, we're gonna feed off of Bones and his energy. So just going from there, honestly.
You did get a new backcourt mate this past year in Ace. I was super high on him. I think he's going to be huge for VC in the program. But take us through that. What was your guys' bond like? When did you guys first start really building that bond? And what's it been like playing with him?
I would say probably I would say I don't know what year it was. I feel as though it was my freshman year. We had played in the same circuit. He had played for Team Thrill. I had played for We Are One. So from there, we had played him in a game, and he probably gave us like 30 something. I'm like, yo, he's nice. Like, but we smacked him by like 30 something though. So it wasn't really no, like, he just stood out to me because he really was milking us. So I'm like, all right, from there, it's like I know I'm gonna run into him in the long run or down the basketball line, because all basketball players always meet up. They always become friends. So I'm like, I know one day he gonna be down with Tracy Gang. So I was just like, we met again probably. I think probably like my sophomore, junior, I think one of my friends had actually didn't want to be down with Tracy Gang. And just ever since then, it just became brother to me. And we became very close. And just the addition that he gives us, the level of IQ he gives us is definitely huge and big, because replacing Marcus Evans was definitely big as well. Just things he did for the program. So Ace coming in and basically taking on that role and taking on a bigger role. Honestly, I feel as though that's a big impact for the program, and the things that he does for our team is definitely big too as well.
You know, when you have a guy like yourself, you're clearly going to get the majority of the shots and all that. He's someone that eventually, when you do leave for the pros or whatever that's going to look like, is going to kind of be his time to blow up. But where do you
Yeah,
start his VCU career? What will he accomplish if it is a 4-year or 5-year career? What do you think he can accomplish in that time span?
I would say probably he has so much that he hasn't even showed, honestly, just because me being there, honestly, I would say just me taking the shots and stuff like that. And I would say probably him just the level of I can't even explain because he's really so good. Like he's really good. And I would say probably he'll reach the most assists. If he stayed his whole year, he can reach the scoring. I would say just in a lot of aspects, he's really so talented. And it's just like he has so much impact to the game. It's just like that kid can really hoop, and his level of IQ is through the roof.
Mm-hmm. So was it pretty much no matter what was going to happen, you wanted to make sure you two were playing college together?
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel as though like just me going to a school where I know somebody or know my friend, know who like I was already at the school honestly, but just knowing like I can play with my close friend, I just know like it would just be fun honestly, just being able to be out there with him and just having fun and just just killing other people honestly.
And you did have 63 total threes your freshman year, VCU record. And that's kind of goes to show you are an elite shooter. If you want to be on ball, off ball, you can do pretty much anything offensively right now. Take us through that
Yeah.
shot, how you become such an elite shooter.
I would say probably a younger age, honestly. Just me being able to shoot the ball at a young age from anywhere on the floor. Honestly, I've been shooting from so deep since I was a younger teenager. Even probably around like 9 or 10, I've been able to shoot from far, from deep. So I was just like, ever since then, I just became an elite shooter, being able to expand my range, being able to shoot from multiple spots and be able to be accurate from there. So I was just like, just spending time in the gym, honestly, never getting complacent and never like getting too comfortable. So I would say just me working on my game each and every year, improving each and every year.
You head into the sophomore year, and we know it was hectic. We know all the COVID stuff's going down. You're at your home working out, all that kind of stuff. What was your mindset heading into that? What did you want to key in and work on throughout the offseason to get ready for your sophomore year?
My body and how big I can get, and also basically guarding the ball. Honestly, that's huge for me, and it definitely has came a long way. Just me being able to shut out my defender. I mean, yeah, my defender basically. So, I would say, yeah, my body. Honestly, I came in at about 158, 157. I'm at 172 around that range. So, just being able to have a big impact on my body and being able to do multiple things because as you're stronger, you just feel much better. So I feel as though like just impacting my athleticism and the way I can defend, honestly, just was a big accomplishment for me.
You guys are in training camp. It's a lot different than typical years are, but you guys are getting together. You said you guys lost some key pieces. What was your guys' ultimate thought? Do you guys think you guys could be a 10-3 team at this point in the year? Do you think you'd be having the year you're having, or has this kind of been in a way shocking to you guys?
I would say a lot of people counted us out. They didn't think because we were a young team. They didn't think we would be 10-3 so far. They probably think we'd be 3-10, honestly. So just trusting my teammates each and every day and knowing like we got to go out there with a chip on our shoulder. They placed us 9 in our league, so just being able to like just tell them and always remind them like they didn't think we'd be here right now. So just being able to let them know and always remind them that we belong here as well, even though we're a younger team. So that's why I feel as though I approach it every day.
Currently sitting at first in the conference. You guys have big games coming up. Dane's always going to be a big one. And you
Yep.
overall are a guy that every time you play a big team, you take your game to another level. You might not even purposely do that, but you always go up to another notch. What's
Yeah.
that when you see a team that's like a Dane, or you see a team that is a big game, what goes through your mind?
I really like so like I really don't know what it is, honestly, but it's like every time I play like one of them schools or a big school name school, I just always like it's just something in my body. Like I just have a different level of movement, and it's just like I don't know. I just like just kill them even more. Honestly, it's just like everything clicking, everything like it's on point. Honestly, but like I just feel as though like some teams who aren't as good, I feel as though I have the games where I impact in every single category. But like when I'm playing like bigger schools, I feel as though like I just like I go on a scoring spree. So it's just like everything just feels so easy for me.
Absolutely, man. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which is we have talked about the NBA goal eventually, and having this year having right now, I'm sure the interest will start picking up, especially after the season. How will you
Yeah.
evaluate that, and what ultimately do you think you need to have in your game so that you're confident and ready for the NBA?
I would say there are a lot of people reaching out right now, like a lot. So I would say just me focusing on the season. I'll let my parents and my coaches take care of that. So just me focusing on the season and letting them focus on that business part, honestly. So it's just I just feel as though like when the season over and said and done, I'll be definitely be solidified as one of the top players in the country, honestly, and one of the best guards in the country. So I feel as though I'll ease my way in there easily for the NBA and be ready for that. But just me also just taking my game to another level, honestly, when that time comes, and just taking my body to another level. I feel as though that happened, I really like be the best in the country, honestly. So I just like just I'm just taking it day by day, honestly. When that time comes and when God lets me know that time is here, I'll definitely be ready to go.
Absolutely, man. Look through your first year and a half now of basketball in college games. What's your favorite game so far?
I would say probably man, that's so hard, honestly. Like I would say a big scoring game, but it was multiple games where I was just like out there just doing everything. So it's like it's kind of hard to say, honestly. Probably the North Carolina A&T this year. They thought like I wasn't that. Honestly, they thought I wasn't a good player, so they didn't think that. But the way they was playing me, honestly, they was like leaving me open and stuff like that. I just took that as disrespect, but I didn't have as much in the first half. I probably had I think I probably had 6 points probably in the first half, and just the second half, it just show you how easily I can just score and how my game just translates to the next level so easily. So it just showed like I finished with 30 points that game, man. I just hit like 7 shots in a row. It was just like, yeah, I'm letting y'all know that I'm not like, even though I had 6 points in the first half, I can come out and with 30. That's how easy it can be. So it's just that I think that probably was my best game, honestly, my favorite game.
Mm-hmm. And as you keep going on, you said now guys aren't going to be leaving you open. You're going to be the vocal point of who they defend for. You might even have double teams on you. How have you
Yeah.
adjusted to that now?
I mean, it's not really a big adjustment because I had that when I was in high school, honestly. So, but people are like bigger and stronger. Honestly, they're more physical. So, I mean, I adapt a little bit quicker, just being able to get off the ball when the blitz coverage is coming. So, just getting off the ball quicker and just letting my teammates score for that because and I'm the one who made the play because I got off the ball quicker and it helped my teammates, honestly. So it's just like just little things like that, honestly, that some people don't see when they get in like the good players on the good teams. They don't see like you can impact the game in other ways and just scoring, even though you're the best player on the team. You making that shot for your teammates, good scouts and good people who know like that you made a basketball play, the good play. So just that type of little stuff right there.
No doubt. Well, one of the last things I'll like wrapping up with is talking about your legacy. And we have discussed that a few times now, but what's by the time you do step away from the game someday, what do you ultimately want to remember for what you achieved both on and off the court?
That I'm a soldier, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. I'm a soldier. Like God has blessed me with his life, and he just keep on blessing me. Honestly, I would say that I'm a soldier. Honestly, just being here on Earth, still being able to play the game of basketball. I want people to know, like, even though what you go through, the tragedy that you go through, and the injury that you face, and they take you away from the game a couple times. I mean, for a couple months, you just want to be thankful for it. You never want to take the game for granted, honestly. So that's another thing I want people to know. Like, don't ever take the game for granted because it can be taken away from you so easily. So basically, just want people to know, like, you got some more things to live for, honestly. Just knowing, like, as I said, don't take the game for granted because it could be taken away from you. So just at the end, I would say definitely me being a soldier.
No doubt. And so I know you're also believers. So kind of take us through your faith and how God's really helped get you to the point and how he's kind of with you throughout the games when you play on the court.
Uh, I would say probably like more so him let my guardian angels just guide me throughout the game. Honestly, every time before game, or I like to shut my phone off. I pray and meditate and just thank the Lord for where He has brought me and allowing allowing my guardian angels to guide me through like whatever I have faced and just letting him just block the negative energy that sometimes comes my way. So just him being thankful for that, honestly, and just keeping faith, because sometimes you just never know where you're going sometimes, or you just don't see the vision. Honestly, sometimes your vision it's not it's what you want, but sometimes it's God got a different plan for you, honestly. So it's just like me just keeping my faith in God and trusting that he's gonna guide me on whatever I want to achieve, honestly, and just keep my faith in him and knowing that through him I can do whatever. So it's just like, what the Bible say, you can do it all things through Christ who strengthens you. So just keeping the faith, honestly, and just living off that testament right there.
When would you say you really got that strong relationship with him? I know some people grow up in a Christian family and kind of grown up in it, but when did you start that personal bond relationship with him?
I would say more so after the fire. I always been a big, like, my family always been big on Christian belief, but more so after the fire really showed me, like, because he bought my baby brother out from a fire. He just was born. So just that's just like, that's a God given miracle right there. So it's just like, it was a must. I became even more like strong, have a tighter relationship with God, because it's just like, how do you bring a baby who was just born with all them flames and all that heat and pressure that they face and almost being dead? You just brought him from a miracle, and to this day he's alive, smiling. That's my blessing right there, honestly. Just knowing, like, he alive, I got something to live for. Him seeing me being able to achieve my goals would be what triggered him to achieve his goals, and eventually someday I'll be able to tell a story to him as well.
Amen, man. My final thing for you, give VCU fans your 3 biggest goals you have set for the remainder of the season.
Win the A10 championship, go far in the NCAA tournament, and just basically I want them to know, like, I'm the most joyful player out there.
Without a doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I can't wait to see what God's got next for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're always welcome on. God bless, man.
You too.